Mangala Namadhena. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Word for word meaning: Anta Sharashi within the river. Uru Balena by superior strength. Pade leg. Grihita being taken up. Grahena by the crocodile. Yuta Pati of the leader of the elephants. Ambuja Hashta with a lotus flower in the trunk. Urta greatly aggrieved. Addressed. Idam like this. Adi Purusa, the original enjoyer. Akila Lokanata, the Lord of the universe. Tirtha Shava, as famous as a place of pilgrimage. Shabana Mangala, all good simply by hearing the name. Nama Deya, whose holy name is worth chanting. Translation. The leader of the elephants whose leg was attacked in a river by a crocodile of superior strength was much aggrieved. Taking a lotus flower in his trunk, he addressed the Lord, saying, O original enjoyer, Lord of the universe, O deliverer, as famous as a pilgrim, place of all pilgrimage, all are purified simply by hearing your holy name, which is worthy to be chanted. Commentary or translation. Purport. The history of delivering the leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in the river by the superior strength of a crocodile, is described in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Since the Lord is absolute knowledge, there is no difference between His holy name and the personality of Godhead. The leader of the elephants was much distressed when he was attacked by the crocodile. Although the elephant is always stronger than the crocodile, the latter is stronger than the elephant when it is in the water. And because the elephant was a great devotee of the Lord, in his previous birth, he was able to chant the holy name of the Lord by dint of his past good deeds. Every living entity is always distressed in this material world because this place is such that at every step one has to meet with some kind of distress. But one who is supported by his past good deeds engages himself in devotional service of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 16. Those who are supported by impious acts cannot be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, even though they are distressed. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 15. The personality of Godhead, Hari, appeared at once on the back of his eternal bearer, Garuda, and delivered the elephant. The elephant was conscious of his relation with the Supreme Lord. He addressed the Lord as Adi Purusa, or the original enjoyer. Both the Lord and the living beings are conscious and are therefore enjoyers. But the Lord is the original enjoyer because He is the creator of everything. In a family, both the father and his sons are undoubtedly enjoyers, but the father is the original enjoyer and the sons are subsequent enjoyers. A pure devotee knows well that everything in the universe is the property of the Lord, and that a living entity can enjoy a thing as ordained by the Lord. A living being cannot even touch a thing which is not allotted to him. This idea of the original enjoyer is explained very nicely in the Ishopanishad. One who knows this difference between the Lord and himself never accepts anything without first offering it to the Lord. The elephant addressed the Lord as Akila Lokanata, or the Lord of the universe, who is therefore the Lord of the elephant also. The elephant, being a pure devotee of the Lord, specifically deserved to be saved from the attack of the crocodile. And because it is a promise of the Lord that his devotee will never be vanquished, it was quite befitting that the elephant called upon the Lord to protect him. And the merciful Lord also at once responded. The Lord is the protector of everyone, but he is the first protector of one who acknowledges the superiority of the Lord instead of being so falsely proud as to deny the superiority of the Lord or to claim to be equal to him. He is never superior. A pure devotee of the Lord knows this difference between the Lord and himself. Therefore, a pure devotee is given first preference because of his full dependence, whereas the person who denies the existence of the Lord and declares himself the Lord is called Asura. And as such, he is given protection by the strength of limited power, subject to the sanction of the Lord. Since the Lord is superior to everyone, his perfection is also superior. No one can imagine it. The elephant addressed the Lord as Tirtha Srava, or as famous as a place of pilgrimage. People go to places of pilgrimage in order to be delivered from the reactions of unknown sinful acts. But one can be freed from all sinful reactions simply by remembering his holy name. The Lord is therefore as good as the holy places of pilgrimage. One can be free from all sinful reactions after reaching a place of pilgrimage, but one can have the same benefit at home or at any place simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. For a pure devotee, there is no need to go to the holy place of pilgrimage. He can be delivered from all sinful acts simply by remembering the Lord in earnestness. A pure devotee of the Lord never commits any sinful acts. But because the whole world is full of the sinful atmosphere, even a pure devotee may commit a sin unconsciously as a matter of course. One who commits sinful acts consciously cannot be worthy of being a devotee of the Lord. But a pure devotee who unconsciously does something sinful is certainly delivered by the Lord, because a pure devotee remembers the Lord always. The Lord's holy name is called Sravana Mangala. This means that one receives everything auspiciously simply by hearing the holy name. In another place in Srimad Bhagavatam, his holy name is described as Punya Shravana Kirtana. It is a pious act simply to chant and hear all about the Lord. The Lord descends on this earth and acts like others in connection with the activities of the world just to create subject matters for hearing about him. Otherwise, the Lord has nothing to do in this world, nor has he any obligation to do anything. He comes out of his own causeless mercy and acts as he desires. And the Vedas and Puranas are full of descriptions of his different activities, so that people in general may naturally be eager to hear and read something about his activities. Generally, however, the modern fictions and novels of the world occupy a greater part of people's valuable time. Such literatures cannot do good to anyone. On the contrary, they agitate the young mind unnecessarily and increase the modes of passion and ignorance, leading to increasing bondage to the material conditions. The same aptitude for hearing and reading is better utilized in hearing and reading of the Lord's activities. This will give one all around benefit. It is concluded, therefore, that the holy name of the Lord and topics in relation with him are always worth hearing. And therefore, here in this verse, this is called Namadeya, or one whose holy name is worth chanting. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Again, the verse. Anta sarasi uru balena pada grihito grahena yuta patir ambuja hastartha ahedam adi purusakila lokanata tirta shavana mangala namadeya. The story of this particular description from the Srimad Bhagavatam are very elaborately described in the 8th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Especially, there are 3 chapters mentions about these pastimes of Gajendra. It's called Gajendra Moksha. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. Let me see again here. Yes. Chapter 2, 3, and 4. Gajendra is like the king of the elephants. It says that in the celestial sky, that means the heavenly planets. And the heavenly planets called also Swargaloka, where the living beings, they live very luxuriously, full of sense enjoyment, including the animals, not just those who have 2-armed forms. He says that there is this very special lake in the heavenly planets, where it is clearly described. The description is that this area where it is belonging, he says that the place in the heavenly planets, there are different oceans, different, it's like here, our ocean is ocean of salty water. But in the heavenly planets, the oceans can be made of milk. They'll consist of ocean of sugar cane, different kinds. Yeah, ocean of milk, we'd heard of that. So in this area, especially up in the mountains, there are many, many mountains And this pastime specifically, it occurred in the mountain, which is called Trikuta. And there is a special garden there named Ritumat, according to the second chapter of the 8th canto. And this was constructed by Varuna. And over there is a very nice lake. So the chief of the elephants, along with his female elephants consorts, they came. Actually, the real king of the forest is not the lion, but it is the elephant. But when this king of the chief of the elephants, when he came, everyone was fleeing, everyone was running away. Tigers, lions, deer, all these different animals, wild animals, they were in fear. And it says that the earth was shaking, the ground was shaking when this elephant came. So he came to this special area where there is a very beautiful lake to take bath, along with his female elephants consorts. But while taking bath, frolicking and enjoying, one crocodile beat his legs, one of his legs. And the crocodile has 4 legs, or the elephant has 4 legs. So the crocodile beat him. And what happened is that there was a big fight, and the fight between the crocodile and the elephant, it lasts for 1,000 years. Now that 1,000 years is not compared to our 1,000 years. We've heard that the demigods, their one day there is equivalent to like 6 months or 1 year. So 1,000 years is much more. It's very lengthy time. So neither the elephant nor the tiger died. But since the fight occurred in the water, ultimately the elephant started to become weaker and weaker, and the power of the crocodile increased more and more. And thus the crocodile became more and more encouraged. It's like, I became stronger, more stronger. And the elephant, being helpless, he sees that there's no other way for his protection except to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See this, the crocodile beat the elephant, and the elephant, he is not an ordinary elephant also. He says that the elephant was previously King Indradyumna. Is a great king. And therefore, he's a devotee of the Lord as well. And he remembers being a devotee from his previous life, King Indradyumna. And being a king, usually the kings in those days, they're Rajarisi. They're called Rajarisi. Rajarisi means saintly king. Because ultimately the kings, they are meant to be representatives of the Supreme Lord. their main function is to protect the citizens. And ultimately, his duty is to make his subjects help them to be Krishna conscious, to advance spiritually, not just to protect them or give them shelter and be sure that they are provided with all the necessities. But they have to be sure also that everyone gradually will become pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, like himself. So, being a devotee in his previous life, Gajendra, he was formerly King Indradyumna, and he remembered that prayer, and he began to chant it to himself because he knew that there is no other recourse, there is no way he'll be able to overcome or overpower the strength of the crocodile being in his place of inhabitat or habitat. That is his place. Water. He is not. He is helpless. One of the lessons we've learned from this episode from Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should be properly situated in one's ashram. The way in order to execute one's service, devotional service towards the Supreme Lord, he should be suitably placed in a particular ashram where he can easily perform bhakti. It's like it says in Kali Yuga, sannyas is prohibited because it's not an easy ashram, whereby in that ashram, complete surrender is expected for that person in that ashram, the sannyasi. 100% completely surrender his body, his mind, his words, his very self. 100%. And like in the Grihastha ashram, they're given a leniency to have sense enjoyment, especially to procreate children. And one who cannot control his senses, especially the sense of the productive organ, then one is not advised to take sannyas. So that's why in Kali Yuga, it's very rare that one come to the platform of being sannyas. It's better one to be a grihastha and is able to execute his duty properly, his service properly. That is where he belongs. Unlike if he just want to be in sannyas, but then he cannot control his senses, then he can be easily defeated by Maya. As Prabhupada says, we have declared war against Maya because the purpose of human form of life is meant for self-realization. So it doesn't matter which ashram one belongs to, as long as he'll be able to maintain his ashram in that way happily. So in the Grihastha ashram, they be given this license for sense enjoyment. The only ashram that's given this license. Brahmacharis, no. The Vanaprastha, no. What to say of sannyasis who are considered to be socially, they are dead. So Gajendra being an animal which is meant to live in land, even though how much strong he is, even the rhinoceros, other wild animals, when they heard the elephants coming, especially Gajendra, very big, they all fled. And being a devotee from his previous life as the king, King Indradyumna, he was able to remember this prayer. And he asked for him to be rescued. He doesn't have any recourse, and that's why he offered this lotus flower. He plucked a lotus flower to offer to Lord Vishnu. That he uttered this prayer, the prayers of surrender. This is why he says, he is the, let's see that again, that prayers whereby he glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Where he says, in these two verses especially, he says that the elephant calls out four names of the Lord: Adipurusha, Akila Lokanata, Tirtha Srava, and Sravana Mangala. And these four names, the Supreme Lord has unlimited names. According to one person, but because his different activities, he has so many attributes, and according to his activities, he is named after that activity. Just like recently, we just finished month of Kartik Damodar, so we called him Damodar, one whose belly has been bound with a rope by Mother Yasoda, Damodar, or Keshava, one who has curly hair, or Shama Sundar, one whose color is just like a monsoon cloud, Sham, beautiful color, bluish black color, like Tamal tree or the monsoon cloud, or the neck of the peacock, very dark blue, or Giridhari, the one who lifted the Govardhan hill. Unlimited names. So here, the Lord is being addressed by Gajendra, where he addressed the Lord, the original enjoyer, Lord of the universe, Adi Purusha. You possess a human form from the beginning. Adi Purusha is the ultimate master, original master, Purusha, where he acknowledged his supremacy, being the enjoyer. He's the ultimate controller of everyone, the supreme master of everyone, Akila Lokanata, or in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the ultimate proprietor of all the planetary system. So he's Lokanata, master of all the people. So he is the main master, is the supreme master. Everyone is trying to be master in this world, but actually we cannot be, because our eternal constitutional position is that we are all servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa 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 Aduna Anudasa. There is only one Supreme Master, Lord Krishna, and everyone is subordinate, everyone is servant. There is this verse, Ekala Ara Sarvabhitya. Eka. The Supreme Lord is only one, only Lord Krishna. And everyone is his servants. He is also called being famous for purifying Tirtha Shrava. Anyone whom he contact with, whether even demons that he killed, they get purified. Everyone who had darshan of the Supreme Lord, they get purified. Like people don't know that whenever they come to the temple or see the beautiful form of Radhe Shyam, Krishna Balaram, Gaur-Nitai, even Srila Prabhupada, or even have darshan of a pure devotee of the Lord, unknowingly they get purified. This is the spiritual potency of the Supreme Lord. Everyone who comes in contact with him or with his pure devotee, they get purified immensely, unknowingly. Their heart becomes cleansed from all the sinful activities and their reactions from the past. You are famous for purifying Tirtha Srava, purifying the sins of everyone. And also, he is called Sravana Mangala. Anyone who call upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes auspicious. Anyone who will hear about the absolute truth, the supreme absolute truth, his name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes, they become purified. So this is the nature in the spiritual life, that the Supreme Lord will bestow the remembrance of him to those devotees who render some service to him, genuine service, that he will make that devotee remember him even at the time of death or the time of difficulties. This is the purifying effect of one who renders transcendental loving service towards the Supreme Lord favorably, without any tinge of desire for material gain or profit, or any want of prestige, free from fruitive gain and mental speculation. So it is very amazing story how even one in the body of an elephant, and we remember this also, just like Maharaj Bharat, who was in the Bhava stage. Bhava stage is the preliminary stage before prema. Just like before the sun rises up in the horizon, then we can see a glimpse of brightness. Even though the sun is not there yet, but we can see that the sun, and we know that the sun will rise up at a certain time because of the brightness of the sky. So Bhava Bhakti is like that. Even though one is purified, but still there is some tinge of anarthas lingering that still needs to be eradicated before ultimately one attains Krishna prema, or love of God. When one attains love of God, no more material desires, no more unwanted desires. The heart is completely cleansed. And to attain Bhava Bhakti, we have to perform sadhana bhakti. following rules and regulations according to Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. So this is another story of Maharaj Bharat. He became a deer, and while being a deer, he remembers also not to fall down again, not to remain in that position or have complete forgetfulness of Lord Krishna. He remembers everything. And then the third life, he became Jada Bharat. Well, he became completely absorbed in meditating always on the transcendental form of the Lord. So this episode is very instructive for all of us. If we are sincere, Krishna knows what's in our heart, and the spiritual master also. He can tell our progress in Krishna consciousness. He can purify us by informing us, by telling us where to improve. This is the duty of the spiritual master. The function of the spiritual master is to find the different ways how the disciple will make advancement by giving him proper instruction, pointing out his lacking, pointing out his mistakes, so that he will make progress. So here, Gajendra, he was able to chant the holy name of the Lord because the dint of his past deeds. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that everyone in the material world is being bombarded by the threefold miseries, or the fourfold miseries: birth, death, old age, disease, or the threefold miseries. These miseries being inflicted by the body, and that includes the mind. When we say the body, that includes the mind especially. Even in devotees, there are some of them, I know some devotees, they have problems with their mind. They are in anxiety. Not anxiety of about Krishna, but their anxiety about because of their previous karma. Some devotees are distressed or always depressed because of their past, and the only cure is to be Krishna conscious. Or the miseries inflicted by other living entities, and also miseries inflicted by the natural elements. So it says every step here in the material world is danger. Danger in every step. So we are meeting that. We are facing that. So the only recourse actually is to be engaged oneself in devotional service, especially in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the only means by which we can be relieved from all of the material distress or anxiety. Automatically, you come to the spiritual platform. And therefore, we have to value. It's amazing how we're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but we don't give it utmost importance. We don't give it as our main priority. We chant for the sake of just chanting. But the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is not different than Lord Krishna himself. And we're not be able to put emphasis on the value or the importance giving respect to the holy name. The holy name being none different than Lord Krishna. It's like when we see the deity of the Lord, we are very respectful, knowingly that the deities are none different than Lord Krishna. So similarly, when we chant, because of ignorance, we don't have taste for chanting. But the cure for that ignorance is to continuously chant the holy name of the Lord, but focus with great attention, with giving the chanting of the holy name of the Lord of great importance, being attentive, being focused. Then we will see the immense result by chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And one day, to come to the point of chanting Sudhanam, pure chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So here, even though as the translation, because the title of this is specific, what is the title? Scheduled incarnations with specific function. So the Lord appeared to Gajendra when Gajendra understood that only Lord Krishna can save him. And by offering these prayers to the Supreme Lord appeared with his carrier, Garuda, and both Gajendra and the crocodile were lifted up from the water, and the crocodile was killed. The crocodile also attained moksha. And also Gajendra attained moksha. That's why this episode is called Gajendra Moksha, the deliberation or the liberation of the elephant, Gajendra. Hopefully, we'll be able to remember Lord Krishna at the time of death, where it is the most fearful moment. But anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord, fear personified will not be there at the time of death. And the representatives of Lord Vishnu will come, the Vishnu Dutas, to take us to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. I will stop here now. Do you have any questions, any comments?
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Maharaj, for sharing with us Gajendra Moksha. Like you rightly said, we're all praying that we'll have the same thing meted upon us. We cry unto the Lord, and the Lord comes to rescue us. So, dear devotees, if anyone may have question, comment, realizations, please you may unmute by using the hand emoji or using a physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to speak.
Yes. Some of you are maybe cooking for Krishna. Some of you may be driving back to or going back to work. It would be nice to have darshan of you before we conclude this. I'm having your darshan, but not moving like me.
Yeah.
It's like stationary.
But if possible, you may turn on.
Yeah, you can, no problem. Yeah. Would be nice. Oh, there's devotees there. Baraha Acharya, there's a lot of devotees there. Yes. Thank you, Baraha Acharya Prabhu, for showing your congregation, your preaching. Looks like you're having a prasadam distribution there.
Yes, prasadam distribution.
Yeah. Where is that place?
That is Lomé, Togo, in West Africa.
Togo. Yeah, in
Yes.
Togo. Haribol. And Govinda looks like he's going to work.
Yes. His,
Hare Krishna.
his imitational Garuda.
Acha. Very good, very good. Any questions?
Yes, Maharaj, I have one question.
Mhm.
I didn't actually know until today, as you were sharing the Katha, that the garden in which this Gajendra was actually staying and living there and enjoying his life was created by Varuna.
Yeah,
And
this.
I was thinking Varuna was only concerned about anything, everything in the ocean. So
Yeah.
was this garden within the ocean, or it was on a dry land?
It says it's in the lake. Near is near,
Oh, near.
because it's still a body of water.
Okay.
Yeah. It says in a beautiful lake in the mountains. Trikuta mountain. Yeah. And that mountain has 3 peaks. Yeah. Gold, iron, and silver. See, the heavenly planets, everything is so beautiful. Everything is so nicely decorated. Everything, because it's a place of greater sense enjoyment than what we have. Yeah. So
Well,
that's
Maharaj,
how.
I've been wondering, somewhere it's described that, I'm not sure whether it's by Quinta or some of the heavenly planets, but one of these higher planets, they have, I think it's by Quinta, the building columns are decorated with ivory. And my question is, if they are decorated with ivory, except there is another way of procuring ivory, but here, in order for us to get ivory means an elephant must die.
Yeah. Must be like, you see, no one kills anything without any reason. So must be naturally those elephants died. And sometimes even because in the wild, the elephants actually are the kings of the forest. The lions are afraid. The lion seems to be, but no, the rhinoceros, it says they're all fled. Tigers, they all fled when Gajendra was coming. So we should just accept whatever the descriptions are, and how it is attained, how they procure them, I really don't know. But we just have to accept it the way it is. That means also like made of rubies and emeralds and corals. I mean, there must be some mining also going on. It's not that you found them on the sidewalk. There must be some minings going on, like the throne of King Indra's palace, or in the spiritual world, the pillars, lapis lazuli. All of these things doesn't. They have to manufacture theirs also. They must have some artisans to do this. Yeah. They must
maybe the wish fulfilling tree may be doing all those. Who knows?
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Anyone with any question, devotees? Before Maharaj leaves, Maharaj is speaking from India, and it's quite late his time. So if we can ask our questions sooner, rather than later, so Maharaj may be able to leave.
I really grateful that you are inviting me to speak. It's an opportunity for me to have your association. I'm so privileged.
Maharaj, it's an opportunity for you. It's a blessing for us. It's a blessing for us.
I'm always happy. I'm always happy to have your association in Africa, Hare Krishna, Africa.
Mm.
I'm sure this is recorded, so some of them will also see this some other time.
Yes, it's recorded, and we will share the link with you afterwards, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories
Hare
to
Krishna.
Sri Prabhupada. All glories to you.
Govinda Prabhu,
Maharaj.
is that you? Yes.
Maharaj,
Yes.
will you kindly tell us who that crocodile was? Indrajuna became the Gajendra.
Yeah.
So who was the crocodile, and what happened to his fall?
I am not usually, if someone has fallen down due to some offenses, he takes birth in a lower species of life. And just this episode where the king became Gajendra, or the prince. He says he was the king of Panjadesh. And he says that he incurred a displeasure of the great sage Agastya Muni. This is usually what happens when we displease the sage or holy man. Then usually they will curse. But the curse also is blessings in disguise. Just like Narad Muni cursing Nalakuber and Manigriva to take birth as twin Arjuna trees. They had the opportunity to have darshan of Damodar. Yeah? Or in this case, he was a king of Panjadesh. And somehow or other, he displeased Agastya Muni. Usually, whatever the sage or exalted Vaishnava Brahmanas, when they ask a favor from you, you have to give. If you don't, then they'll become displeased and they will curse you. But then again, the curse is like a blessing in disguise. So here, instead of going more down in the species of life as an elephant, he also attained liberation because he pleased Lord Vishnu by his prayers. Do you understand? Huh?
Yeah, Maharaj. Yes, I understand that part. I was asking about the crocodile. Who was the crocodile, and what did he? The crocodile.
Oh, the
Who
crocodile.
was he, and how did he fall? Also,
that I don't know. It is part of the pastimes that the crocodile is there. I don't know. He didn't say. He didn't say who is this crocodile. We just heard who is this elephant king from before. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody else knows, but I've also been wondering about this same question, and so far I've not come across the previous life of the crocodile. We only hear of the elephant Gajendra.
It says here, yeah, in that story, it just says that a crocodile named Makara, is dwelling in the lake and he became disturbed. He, hey, you're disturbing my peace. This is my territory. You come here to disturb me. So you cannot do that. It's like do not enter, do not enter. This belongs to me. So he said, well, I'm gonna kill you, so you will not disturb me. Okay, he dwelled there. The crocodiles lives there. So he became irritated by Gajendra's playing with his female elephants. So he sank his teeth into the leg of Gajendra and gave pain to Gajendra, giving him like a lesson. Hey, don't come back here anymore. Yeah. So we don't have any other information who is this Gajendra, who is this crocodile. The crocodile in the past life, it says it was a king called Huhu. Okay, here. Crocodile had a past life history of misdemeanor. In his past life, he was killed. He was called King Huhu and was cursed by the sage Devala, who visited his court. He was a king also. So when the two were bathing in the river...
Good to know that today.
Okay. When the two were bathing in the river, and while the sage was offering prayers to the sun god, the king mischievously pulled the legs of Devala, the sage, which angered the sage. So the sage cursed him to take birth as a crocodile in his next birth. And when the king begged in repentance, the sage softened a little and said that though born a crocodile in next birth, he will gain liberation in the hands of Lord Vishnu. Again, see, the curse always has a very positive result. He became, he was pulling the legs, of the sage. So the sage became agitated, irritated, and then he cursed him. Okay, you pulled my leg, you will take birth as a crocodile to pull to bite the legs of King Indrajumna, who is Gajendra, but then you will be liberated. So both became liberated. The crocodile, having this mistake of due to egotism, he was also destroyed. And anyone that the Lord killed, whether they're demon, they also get liberated. So we should be careful, because our worst enemy is our egotism and pride. We cannot surrender towards the Supreme Lord or his pure representative without being humble, without giving up our ego, without giving up our pride. See, these are kings. These are kings. And, having a position, if it goes over our head, then we become proud. Being proud is the enemy, is the anarthas, the most difficult to give up. We can give up the desire for wealth or towards attractions towards the opposite sex, but one's prestige, one's position is very difficult to give up. And it says that the coverings of the universe, these different material elements, they are 10 times greater than the other. And the thickest is ego. Ego. In order to penetrate that covering, we have to surrender unto the Lord through his pure representative. There is no other way of getting out of this material world except that. Okay? Is that answer your question?
Okay,
Yeah, the question is answered. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay.
Maharaj, I have two questions from the answer you gave to Govinda Prabhu's question. And Govinda Prabhu, I must say thank you so much for asking this question, because I had also been asking and I didn't have an answer. Now I know who this crocodile was in the previous life, Uhu, and was cursed by Devala. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Maharaj, talking about curses. Of course, we're trying to be devotees, and like we're hearing today, we know the dangers of curses. At least we know about Manigriva and Alakuvera.
But just 1 second. Please repeat it again. I was lost.
Okay, I was saying that we're trying to be devotees and we are hearing about the dangers of curses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how Nala Kuvera Manigriva, they were cursed. The four Kumaras also cursed.
Yeah. There's a lot of cursing. Pariksit Maharaj was cursed also.
Pariksit was cursed. But the interesting thing, like you're saying, is that if the curse is coming from great devotees, even though it's a curse, but at the end of it is also
a benediction.
Benediction, yes. Like yes. Agastya Muni cursing Gajendra actually gave him liberation because the Supreme Lord came for him. But the other part of these curses that I'm still not clear about is that when one is cursed from other devotees, when one is cursed, it extends to that particular person's generations after generations after generations. And my question has been, even in this material world, if I steal and I get arrested, if my child had no role in my theft, my child is not going to be arrested. So why would it be that I commit an offense and I get cursed, and it has to extend to others who have a relationship with me and it never played any role in the offense I committed? How does that work?
There is a collective karma and there is an individual karma. There is individual karma that we commit, and it may not have anything to have effect with others. It's like personal sin. But there are sins that it can affect others. It's like it says in India, it says that in order to be relieved of, let's say, if the father has a debt and he died and he did not pay that debt, that has to be paid by the other family members to have him relieved from the reaction. So if there is a sin, I cannot think of right now how if one performs, that others may get also affected. But we all know that if one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, also his family members get credits for one being a pure devotee. It's like even in the family of demons, Like Prahlad Maharaj, he became a very dear devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev. And his father, who is the king of demons, also get liberation. So it works also in some ways. It's very intricate. Karma is very intricate. It's not so easy to explain or to understand how these things are interconnected. It says that we took birth in a particular family, and only in that family that we'll be able to burn the reactions, whether of our own previous karma, to enjoy or to suffer, only in that family. You will not take birth in other families otherwise, because there is a collective karma that everyone has to enjoy or suffer from their previous life. Do you follow?
I've been hearing, but it's still not quite clear to me. Probably because of my
It's very intricate.
my background,
Yeah.
little understanding, but because I have one god brother who preaches in public. He does public preaching.
Okay.
And he used to say that if like we are told not to pay back sin with sin. So
Yeah.
if somebody slaps me, if somebody slaps me and I do not slap him back, then it means that I was owing that slap and I have received it. So
Yeah.
it's cleared. But if somebody slaps me and I slap him back,
Yeah.
maybe his weight of slap was maybe 10 pounds. And when I slapped him 15 pounds. So now there is a deficit of 5 pounds. So that somebody else from to me. And somebody is desiring that for me, anyone who talks like this to me, I'm going to give him a slap. So somebody's desiring, and I have that deficit. So nature will arrange, and then we come.
Yeah.
And I receive.
The best way, yeah, I understand. The best way how to do this is that we should accept anything that comes to us as our reaction from the past. And how you create your karma in the future is how you react. If you just accept the way it is and just say, it's like Prabhupada says, if you are, let's say, for devotee who come to Krishna consciousness and he's cutting vegetable and he just cut himself, very minor due to cutting, he should thank Krishna. He thanks Krishna. Krishna, thank you very much. You are very merciful that I only receive a very small portion of the reaction of my past because of your mercy. If he was not a devotee, the reaction will be more severe. So we have to learn how to be more tolerant. And it's like when Prabhupada, he was preaching in Montreal, there was this elderly Indian who was with Prabhupada following all the programs. And in his last day, Prabhupada was criticized heavily by this gentleman, elderly gentleman. And before Prabhupada, before he is about to go, so he asked the disciple to call him. Prabhupada says, I must have done something in the past that I'm getting the reaction from this person. So that person came and Prabhupada gave him his blessings also. We should think that whoever is inflicting us the pain, they're not the cause of our reaction. It is only through them that the reaction we are receiving now. Okay. It is not them who is the cause of why we are suffering. It is only through them that now I am receiving the reaction of my past, from the past that they're like instrument. So we should not be also an instrument. How we can react, the way we react to that situation, whether we will not have our karma is being burnt if we don't react, like in a very aggressive way, or if we overact, then we will create more karma. You understand now a little bit?
Yes, it helps. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karma is very intricate.
Very
Main thing is that, just like Haridas Thakur, he did not retaliate to the soldiers who's punishing him.
Yeah.
He just accepted them. And the soldiers, they were begging Haridas Thakur, please,
Die.
you have to die. If you don't die, then the Kazi will kill us. So to save them, then Haridas Thakur found a solution. Just tell them I went to the fields it's a call of nature, and then I jumped to Ganga, and then you cannot find. So he must have died. He must have drowned, right? And all those pain that's been inflicted to him, the markings and everything, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him, they all disappeared. Yeah. So how we react to the situation will predict our future. So we have to be careful. We have to accept. Main thing is, one should be always in the humble state, and you will not be the loser. Even if you are humiliated, even if you are being, like inflicted some pain, just accept that, yes, I must be the cause. The cause of this is because my past. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Sorry.
Thank you.
Maharaj.
So, anything else?
Yeah, Shimara, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna. Jai Maharaj, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhu.
Okay, well, just your explanation. 1 minute, I want to, okay, yeah. So just your explanation to this last question. We understand that humility is actually the crest jewel of a saintly person. It is
yes, humility
is what we have to understand.
Crest jewel of a saintly person.
Yeah, we have to understand that. There's no doubt. But then in the social setting, where we have seen abuses in the name of religion and people's freedom being taken away, people have been maltreated, and then they use scripture to justify this, then it becomes very, very questionable to what extent we can preach humility when there are abuses. So please can you balance this? Hare Krishna.
It's a little distorted in the end.
Yeah, it's a little bit distorted.
It's not me. It's
no from
I think
his
it's
end,
from
yeah.
your end.
I think
What
some
happened? My voice is not clear, or what?
No, there's some wind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's true. I'm sitting by. All right. So I just said that in a social setting, how much can we really preach humility where there is abuse? And in the past, from history, we have seen how scripture has been used to justify, mistreatment to people. And people have to start learning how to assert their freedom and fight back. So when we use the karma philosophy to say that, well, it's my karma, then people will never be liberated from suffering. So, I mean, how far can we preach this? We have to, individually, yes, but when we begin to see a wholesale abuse in the name of religion, so what do we do?
Always remain humble. Do your duty to the best of your ability. And let Krishna be the ultimate judge. We cannot put the law in our hands. Tolerance should be always there. Patience should be always there. And Krishna knows there is a certain time that this abuse will only go up to a certain extent. It will not go one more degree higher than that. Once it reached that far, something is going to happen. You just have to wait. So tolerance should be there. It is not that, you just keep your mouth shut and don't do anything. Continue what you're supposed to do. Continue what you're meant to do, your duty. And always be respectful. That we cannot afford to commit Vaishnava parad. Okay, a genuine devotee is always respectful even to his enemy. He doesn't consider anyone as his enemy. Others may consider us to be their enemy, but we don't consider our enemy to be enemy. It is not. They're not our enemies. Okay, so if there's something which you cannot do, just tolerate a little bit. Be patient. And Krishna will not tolerate if the devotee is being abused. Something is going to happen. But we should not pray that something happens to them in the negative way. We should always pray for their own good, that they may understand what they're doing is not in the best of situation for themselves. A devotee is always like that.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your answer to Shubha Varapaku's question. But I said I appreciate because of where this message is coming from. It's coming from you.
Actually, yeah.
It's coming from you. But somebody like myself sitting here, I have a different opinion and a different approach in the sense that Srila Prabhupada wanted us to continue his legacy by establishing this Varnashram Dharma. And the Kshatriyas are not who they are simply because they are very passionate to attack people. But they are very passionate to make sure that others are protected. So in the course of protecting others, they appear to be, wild and aggressive, but they are very sober. So it's very difficult for some people to sit down and see others being cheated, knowingly being cheated and abused, and expect Krishna to come from somewhere to rectify this situation. But like you're saying, because of being who you are, that is how you're going to speak. But I am with the opinion that a disciple is supposed to be intelligent. I think yesterday or so, somebody was speaking and was saying that my Guru Dev said I should treat people who do this, who do that, as disciples, as devotees, we cannot expect our guru, our sannyasis to give us harsh orders to go and attack somebody. They will never do that. So that's why I said I appreciate your answer, but it is expected of the disciple to know what is right and what is to be done at the right time and do as such. We don't have to wait for the guru to tell us these people are attacking our temple, go and fight them back. We should know that these people are attacking our temple, they're stealing our deities. We have to go and fight them. We can't wait for Krishna to send Anugraha somebody down there. That's my mood.
But please, before you go on, because I wanted to, back up my question. I'm not asking about devotees' relationship or Vaishnava apparat. I'm saying that we are preachers. How far can we extend this karma philosophy when there is social abuse, human mistreatment? Will people understand us? I mean, if people had not raised up agitation, fight back oppressions and then slavery, half of the world today will remain in subjection. So that's what I'm saying. To what extent can we push this karma philosophy, telling people to be humble, and then we're seeing a lot of social injustice? I'm talking about social implication. I'm not talking about devotees' relationship. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just do our duty, okay? As I said, if we have to distribute prasad, distribute prasad. If we have to distribute the holy name, distribute the holy name. If we have to distribute books, distribute books. We're not into any political or social. We're not. We should not be part of that. Our program is beyond that. So just go on with our duty, what we're meant to do, and do not worry who is right or what is wrong. What is meant to be done, that we should do. It doesn't matter who is right or who is wrong, but we have to do what we have to do. We have to use our fine intelligence. We have to be practical and don't get into any political sides. Should be always in the neutral side here. Okay?
Maharaj, see, we are preachers, and therefore others see us as some sort of like counselors. So not from politics angle. Maybe you have a family members you preach to, and then they come to you with problems that has been persistent, lots of abuse going on in the families, which is very common in our world today. And they come and they complain to you, Prabhuji, I have been seeing this thing, I've been having this thing going on in my family repeatedly, over and over. What do you do? But like I said, I don't think there is any way we're going to ask you and you're going to say something else because of being who you are. So I think we will accept that, Maharaj. Adichakra Prabhu, do you have something to share? You may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you very much for the class. And thank you for your answer. But as a follow-up to what Varaha Prabhu was asking, when we read the story of King Vina, we know the Brahmins had good quality. They had good qualities. They were devoted with good qualities. But when Queen Vina keep committing atrocious acts over and over and again, now they find it important to eliminate him.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the Brahmanes didn't have the required patience to wait for nature itself to apply whatever it needs to apply, that they had to take them into their hands to just discipline?
That is a very unique situation. It's a very unique situation. There'll be really like a social disturbance. Even if, I give you an example, just like Bhakti Thakur in Jagannath Puri, he knew that Lord Jagannath is the Lord of the universe. And there is a rule there that if you're not a Hindu, you cannot go inside. If you're a foreigner, you cannot go inside. Even though he knew that this is wrong, he's the Lord of the universe. Lord of the universe means he's the Lord of everyone. But he did not disturb that situation. He knew that there'll come a time when the foreigners will be able to go inside. So the best thing for now is because we don't have that, you may say, that authority to do it. We cannot disturb the social situation. We cannot disturb. We know that let's say a president of a country is corrupt. I mean, if the people became, like upset and there's a big riot, then the cause will be more severe. So the best approach is just let Krishna deal with this. But we continue our chanting. We continue our practice. That is my point. Because we cannot do it. It's not in our hands. But there'll be a certain ceiling that you cannot go any further. It's only up to that. And something will change. Something will happen for the best of everyone, for the good of everyone. This is how I will approach it. Because it's not in my hand. I cannot do it. It's not possible for me to do it. There's no reason for me to really push it too much. The main thing is to be detached and mind my own business and be more Krishna conscious. That will be the best approach. Okay?
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah. Please. One last.
Okay, please. Yes.
One last point.
Yes.
Well, because this is a public forum, so we don't want people to think that Krishna consciousness is a pacifist movement, and that we kind of cross our hands to see all kind of abuses happening. I don't think that's our philosophy. But then the other point, scriptural, like Arichakra Prabhu just gave one example. Another example is when the ants were biting the disciple of Narada, the snake. And then he was almost dying, just waiting there, trying to be submissive and like that. Narada said that, Narada said, well, you should at least raise your head, raise your hood, and then they would stop. So none of our Acharya preaches pacifism. Our scripture is not based on pacifism. It was based on battlefield. And Arjun doing what he has to do, he wanted to shy away from his duty of fighting. So if what you have to do is to fight, and then you are misunderstanding the philosophy as, you have to just, wait for something to happen. I don't think that's our philosophy. So anyway, that's just my last comment.
So do what you want to do. Who is stopping you? Go ahead.
No,
if you can do something, if you can do something, you do it. Who is stopping you?
No,
but you cannot. It's not in your hands to do it. That doesn't mean that you let the injustice to go on, but you cannot. It's not in your hands. If it's in your hands, okay, you do it. Is it in your hands to do it? Can you do it? Go ahead, you do it. No one will stop you. But you cannot do it also. Without doing something doesn't mean, we don't care. If you can do something, go ahead, Prabhu. Do it tomorrow. Let's see what happens to you.
Okay.
Instead of you becoming Krishna conscious, you will not become Krishna conscious. You'll be in the bodily platform now. It's beyond you. That's why you cannot do anything. That doesn't mean without action means you let go the injustice. No. If you can do something, Prabhuji, go ahead. No one will stop you. But can you do it? You cannot. It is beyond in your hands. So just wait.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. The understanding we're getting from this question and the answers is that if one can do something to rectify the bad situation, one should go ahead and do it. If it is not within your power to do it, then you don't do it.
You don't do it. You'll be in trouble.
If it is within your power,
you'll be in trouble. There's a saying in Bengali, don't play with the pigs. You'll get dirty.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't play with the pigs. You'll get dirty also.
Yeah.
They're dirty. They're like, dirty criminals. That doesn't mean you let them do what they're doing, but you cannot. You just have to pray to Lord Krishna. That's the best way we can do it right now. If you're in the authority, you know someone who can do it, then you approach those people.
Actually, Maharaj, the question Prabhuji was asking and other follow-up was not just particularly concerning devotees, but concerning society, because we also live in society. And so we may not be able to do something others may do.
Prabhuji,
if others,
what are we doing? Let's put it like this, okay? We are a spiritual movement.
Yeah.
So let us be like that. We're not political movement. Let's just do what we are meant to do, and the whole world will go on. You cannot do anything about it. Kali Yuga is going on. What are you going to do with Kali Yuga? You can do something in Kali Yuga if you preach. Just continue your preaching. Don't be discouraged. Okay? Don't be so much concerned about, that war, this war. This is going to go on. Violence against each other. This is going to go on. All we have to do is just continue what we're meant to do. Then you'll become more Krishna conscious in that way. There's no other solution to this. You cannot fight. You cannot be with them. You just do what you're supposed to do and let Krishna will take care of everything. Even if you're going to be killed, accept it, what to do. You're meant to be. But if you fight against them or you try to say, oh, no, this is wrong. The whole world knows what is wrong or what is right. But what is the truth? That has to be established. And the truth is they have to be Krishna conscious. Help them to become Krishna conscious. That's the only way we can do it. Okay?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. And thank you all assembled Vaishnavi devotees for your love and time. And Maharaj in particular, thank you so much for your love and time, because it's pretty much late your time. And we hope to have your association.
That's okay, no problem.
In the very near future. So
once in a while is good.
We're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation for Maharaj being with us today. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Vaichandrapatavishya Kripa Patitanam Vaishnava Namo Namaha.
Hare
His Holiness
Hare
Bhakti
Krishna.
Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
August Samul Vaishnav devotees ki jai. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.